Well, it's been an eventful week in the world of football. We had UEFA competitions take place, we had Premier League competitions take place, and now it seems like none of that matters because the European Super League has been announced. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from four friends. Tonight it's three friends who support different English football clubs. My name's James. I support Arsenal, and I had to look in my closet for the least looking Arsenal kit I could find. Next to me on the top row is Brad. He supports Chelsea Football Club. And right below us, holding down the bottom row, is Sean. He supports the Tottenham Hotspurs.
The Atlanta Braves.
He supports the Tottenham Hotspurs franchise because we're making all the European Super League jokes that we can this week. We're missing Tamzid again this week. He is unavailable. He's our Liverpool supporter, and he is, I think, I don't know what he's doing tonight, but
you named the podcast wrong. This is the Super Red Card Radio.
Oh, that was really bad, Brad.
What? It is Super Red Card Radio.
That was not good.
It wasn't meant to be good.
All right, let's look at the Premier League table for what it's worth. Oh, that's the wrong screen. There we go. So much of the league table hasn't really changed at all. City's still in first. United's still in second. Leicester's in third. West Ham is back up to fourth because Chelsea has not played yet because they played in the FA Cup. Liverpool have dropped points this weekend. Tottenham dropped points this weekend. Everton dropped points this weekend. Arsenal dropped points this weekend. Everybody dropped points this weekend. And the only major significant thing that happened this weekend in the Premier League was that Newcastle beat West Ham and Sheffield lost to Wolves, which officially means that Sheffield will be relegated to League Championship next season. And also, Norwich City has won promotion out of League Championship to the Premier League for next season. So those are two significant things that happened this weekend.
Same weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hey.
Impressive.
And you said everybody dropped points, but Chelsea didn't drop points.
Okay. I said Chelsea didn't play this weekend.
Mathematically, not everybody can drop points, Brad.
That's not true. There's 10 draws. If there's 10 draws in a weekend, there's 20 points that were dropped.
I think you know all about dropping points, Sean.
Didn't think that through. However, the other significant thing that happened
it's actually not 20 points. It's only 10 points that were dropped. Forgive me for my historian math there.
The other big thing that happened is Fulham's probably relegated. They're 6 points out with 5 to play. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think Newcastle and Burnley have games in hand on them. So
yes, both, and Brighton has 2 games in hand. Yeah. So yeah, that's they're probably done.
For all intents and purposes, it seems like the 3 teams that are in the bottom are going to be relegated. Who knows? They might be joined by 6 more clubs from the Premier League because we're talking
9-team relegation.
Well, maybe those 3 teams won't be relegated. Only 6 teams will be relegated. But of course, we're talking about the European Super League. The European Super League was announced this week, and it is a organization right now of 12 of the I'm air quoting here, leading clubs in Europe. I'm going to just read their statement real quick. Okay, so 12 of Europe's leading football clubs have today come together to announce they have agreed to establish a new midweek competition, the Super League, governed by its founding clubs, AC Milan, Arsenal FC, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea FC, FC Barcelona, FC Internazionale Milano, Inter Milan, Juventus FC, Liverpool FC, Manchester City, Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Tottenham Hotspurs have all joined as founding clubs. It is anticipated that a further 3 clubs will join ahead of the inaugural season, which is intended to commence as soon as practical. Going forward, the founding clubs look forward to holding discussions with UEFA and FIFA to work together in partnership to deliver the best outcomes for the new league and for football as a whole. So that was the statement that was released in the dead of night on Sunday evening from the Super League. I think it released at like Monday at like 12:01 or something like that. It was like in the middle of the night.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Sunday that it dropped.
It was Sunday for us.
No. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
I think it was in the evening.
Yeah.
It was in the evening because it was after I watched the Arsenal game, which was late in the afternoon. And I think they'd they released it like Monday morning at like 12:01. I don't know specifically if that's true, but like it was in the middle of the night in between Sunday and Monday in Europe.
Like a Batman villain drop.
Yeah.
Like they dropped it just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the Super League comment. We have a response from UEFA. UEFA is, of course, the governing body of European football. It is one of the member states, organizations in FIFA, which is the governing body for world football. So UEFA, the English Football Association, and the Premier League, the Royal Spanish Football Federation, and La Liga, and the Italian Football Federation, and Lega Serie A have learned that a few English, Spanish, and Italian clubs may be planning to announce their creation of a closed so-called Super League. If this were to happen, we wish to reiterate that we, UEFA, the English FA, all the people listed before, but also FIFA and all our member associations will remain united in our efforts to stop this cynical project, a project that is founded on the self-interests of a few clubs at a time when society needs solidarity more than ever. We will consider all measures available to us at all levels, both judicial and sporting, in order to prevent this happening. Football is based upon open competitions and sporting merit. It cannot be any other way. The Premier League also had a statement. It's essentially the same thing. The Premier League condemns any proposal that attacks the principles of an open competition and sporting merit, which are at the heart of the domestic and European football pyramid. Fans of any club in England and across Europe can currently dream that their team may climb to the top and play against the best. We believe that the concept of a European Super League would destroy this dream. So, long story short, 12 of the largest clubs in Europe have announced that they plan on essentially not participating in UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europa League competitions going forward, and are setting up their own midweek competition whereby they will play against each other. It will be a league of 20 teams. There will be you'll essentially play. There's a bunch of games. Essentially, it's going to be more games, more revenue for these clubs that are playing in this competition outside the purview of UEFA and the Champions League. The clubs that are going to participate in the ESL, which we will refer to it herein, still would like to play in all of their domestic competitions. That would be the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, all of like their cups. So the Copa del Rey in Spain, the Italian Cup, Copa in Italy, and the FA Cup. So all that stuff, all these clubs want to still participate entirely in their domestic situation. But the main thrust of this is that these clubs want to manage and control their own European football calendar and football competition. So generally speaking, the way that you qualify, and you've heard us talk about this on the podcast for the last 4 months since we've been publicly talking about this, is who's going to finish in the top 4. The top 4 would traditionally qualify for the Champions League, and then the next 3, generally speaking, will qualify for the Europa League. Now, sometimes that's different with FA Cup winners and whatnot, but that's a little more in the weeds than it needs to be. So the way this breaks down is that these founding members of the European Super League can never be relegated, essentially, or can never not gain admittance to the next season's competition. So
Sorry, continue.
No, go for you if you want to.
So there's 15 teams that will be the core of the ESL. They still have 3 spots open. They have not invited any French teams or German teams as of yet, or at least that's what they say.
Yes,
I believe PSG, Bayern, and Dortmund turned them down.
That's the 3.
Yeah, they
right.
did.
I believe they turned them down. But what Perez said is that they have not been invited or contacted yet to be members of the league. So them saying no isn't, it's not. So we never asked you is what ESL is saying, who knows what actually happened back.
It's clear,
but
it's clearly
it's clearly fodder, because if you think that they put together the Super League and included Arsenal and Tottenham in it and did not attempt to include PSG and Bayern Munich in it, you're off your rocker.
Well, there's still 3 spots open. Secondly, the top 6 that we know of in the Premier League, right?
The big 6.
Arsenal,
I'm fully cognizant that
City, United,
in this group.
But the big 6, as that we met, right? They actually that big 6 came together around when Leicester won the title, and they're like, "Hey, how do we stop teams from winning the title? That's not one of us 6." So they've had those meetings.
Is that factually true?
I've never heard about that before.
All the owners got together and had a meeting about it. I'll have to find the information, but it did happen right after Leicester won.
Yeah, I think you'll need to back that claim up.
We're just putting it on the recording? Just DJT Brad? We're just throwing out whatever
we want to say.
That's not true.
Did you go over the 12 clubs that are in it yet or no?
Yeah, that was the first.
Like literally one of the first things he named.
Okay, sorry. I was scrolling through Fabrizio's tweets.
Essentially, it's the big 6 from England, the big 3 from Italy, and the big 3 from Spain thus far.
And we missed. You skipped over a really important part, but you did have to explain everything first before we got to this. And we must not forget to mention the new Champions League winners for next year, which will be Leicester City, West Ham, Everton, and Leeds United.
As currently
currently constructed.
Yeah. So, I think it's safe to say that we're all pretty. I'm fairly anti ESL. Brad, how do you feel about the ESL?
I'm anti ESL.
Sean, how are you about the ESL?
I think we all are.
I am open to the ESL.
Okay, so
here's my reasoning.
Go for it.
So I don't want to present that without a remark behind it. So the reason I'm open to it is in large part, and let's exclude Tottenham, because largely not us there. Largely speaking, the last 16 or 8 teams left, largely speaking, are the same freaking 8 teams or 16 teams that make it into the knockout or the next round every daggum year.
Yeah, usually it's like it's
the same freaking teams.
Yeah, it's generally it's like 80 to 85, sometimes 90% of the same teams.
Yeah. There's Ajax in there. There's a Zagreb in there. There's a Kiev every once in a while, but it's largely the same teams every year.
Yeah.
So I began all of this by saying I'm fully aware that Tottenham doesn't deserve to be in this 12. I think you would probably agree, since we've both been in the Europa for probably the past 4 years, both of us.
I agree that Tottenham don't deserve to be there.
Arsenal, we had this argument. Arsenal are a bigger club. Yes, they, as currently stand, do not deserve to be in the Super League, just like Tottenham don't deserve to be.
I think if you were with the idea of the Super League, you want to get they want the 15 biggest clubs in Europe to be founding members of the Super League.
Is what you're thinking.
Arsenal are definitely one of the 15 biggest clubs in Europe. I haven't ranked it. I intended to rank these clubs in Europe before we came to do this. But Arsenal are certainly in the top 15.
Yeah. If you go that way, we are certainly in the top 15 as well, because we have a huge Asian draw with Heung-min Son, and as many tours we do in Southeast Asia. The American draw, probably same as you guys. Gunnar America is huge. So same for you, the North American draw. Well, as far as eyeballs on TVs, yeah, you're probably right. As far as biggest world clubs,
that wasn't necessarily my point. My point wasn't like who generates the most revenue at present. My point was
that's where I was going.
Like prestige big, like who is a prestigiously big football institution, like a historically big football institution.
So you were going that you had a generally a generally superb one season in 2003, and then we're just generally good for the last 20 years, and then that's what your basis off of prestige is?
Dude, I'm saying that we were in the Champions League for like 20 straight seasons, and we made it to the knockout, to at least the round of 16 for like 17 of those straight seasons.
But I'm saying, like, it's not like you were winning. It's not like you got a lot of stars around that crest.
I mean, we have the third most top division titles in England. We are the only team that once we're the longest serving team in the top division of English football. We have the most FA Cup wins in English football. So like you can't.
I'm not pulling CVs. I'm just saying.
Well, that's what I'm pulling. That's what I was intending to pull the entire time.
Sean's just thinking, wait.
I'm just
Tottenham's trophy case looks like my white walls right now.
Bear.
Yeah. No, well, my point was, since the time of television and the internet, you haven't been that great, other than 2003.
You do know that television was created in like the 20s, right? Like 100 years ago.
Actually, do you know we'll save the snap fact for later, but I got a good one for you. It has nothing to do with sports. No, but what I'm saying is, like, out of that group, Arsenal and Tottenham are the last two. Like,
I think you can make an argument.
World poll.
I think you could also make the argument that the Milan clubs would be towards the bottom as well.
I don't know. Inter, you got an argument.
AC too.
When was
the last time AC was in the Champions League?
Milan jerseys. I see AC Milan jerseys, and I'm not talking about like current players. Like their draw from years and years and years ago it's still there.
Right. Well, that's James's point about Arsenal.
Yeah, AC Milan hasn't been good. Like hasn't been like world football powerhouse since like 2006. Like it even that like is like AC Milan has not been good for a long time, longer than Arsenal has not been good. So
what you're telling me is that Tottenham has more recent success than Milan?
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yes, I am saying that. I mean, you guys have been in the Champions League final recently. Yeah. When was the last? Find out when the last time AC Milan was in the Champions League final. It was further back.
Mourinho, right?
Mourinho didn't.
No, Inter. That was Inter. No, it was probably. I was thinking Zidane years.
Nope, he didn't play.
He did not make it.
He didn't play there.
Zidane played for Juventus.
Ronaldinho played there.
Ronaldinho played there. Kaká played there.
Zidane definitely played for AC. No, it's not Zidane. God dang it. Zlatan Ibrahimovic years.
There you go. He's back now too. What do you mean? He's there now.
So yes, he is. He's like a player manager or something.
Interesting thing about
he's fine.
Interesting thing about Zlatan is he played for all three of those Italian teams
that you mentioned.
Yeah. But we're kind of in the weeds. So get back to your point on why you support why you could be on board.
Right. Because like who's other than a small town in Romania who's crowding around the TV to watch Bayern Munich thrash some Romanian team?
Okay, I think that's a legitimate like reason to support the Super League.
That's my basis of it. If we could expedite the process and get better games out of it, that's what I'm for. But here's what I'm not for: is closing it off.
Yeah, that's the
point.
And I think that's the biggest hiccup for most people is the fact that these clubs have essentially said, we're creating this and we can never not be a part of it. And so they're the ones that are organizing the competition.
They put a time limit on though, but I think it was long, like 20 years.
They signed for 23 years,
yeah.
But
okay,
and
so it was
not a completely closed league. They will have 5 spots open every year. But yes, the founding members have their guaranteed spots, and it becomes almost essentially a closed league.
Oh, when the other 3 come. Yeah.
But right, yeah, because they have 12 now, and they're going to add 3 more.
See, if we're gonna have some fun out of this, maybe we can do this a little later and just keep it in the conversation we're at, so we don't get dragged down. But who are going to be the other 5? Let's speculate on that.
No, there's 3 more spots.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like who's going to rotate into 5? But we can do that later. We're serious conversation.
I think that something that we haven't brought up yet that we need to bring up is UEFA and FIFA are not good organizations. They are corrupt. They have been doing shady dealings for years. It took them like 30 minutes to condemn the Super League, and it takes them weeks and months to condemn racism.
It took Arsenal defeating racism for that to be defeated.
So we're not talking about like good guys here that are getting the shaft here. The only reason that UEFA cares about this, is because the Super League is a direct competition to the Champions League, and the Super League is taking out at least 12, if not 15 to 20 of the most important clubs to the Champions League. Sure, the Champions League will exist without those clubs. So say the Super League happens as they intend, and the Champions League happens as UEFA intends. Who's watching Leicester versus Malaga on Tuesday when you could watch PSG or let's pick teams, Madrid versus Juventus? That's not a difficult decision to make for a neutral, for somebody who is not associated to one of the four clubs involved. And so it's diluting the strength of the Champions League. And so the only reason that UEFA care about this is because it's affecting their bottom dollar.
Yep,
and they don't have control. Those are the only two reasons why they care about this. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about the history of football. They don't care about protecting the institution that is football. They care about money. And that's the only... So, I don't want it to be lost here that, we think that, or at least that I think, this is a James opinion here, that UEFA has been wronged here because they're good guys. They're not good guys, in my opinion. So I don't want it to be lost that we feel like they're being aggrieved or that they're working for the people, because I don't feel like they are. But this theory of a breakaway European competition has been floated for years. For years, Real Madrid and Juventus have been talking about this.
Did it?
I think a lot of this, again, this is all James' opinion territory. I think a lot of this stems back, at least for Juventus, from Calciopoli in 2006 with the match-fixing scandal, where Juve feel like they have been hard done by this, and they still feel like they're innocent, and they kind of want to stick it to Serie A a bit and to the Italian FA and kind of go their own way and have their own sources of revenue. And they see that this is the best avenue for them to do this. I think Madrid are kind of in the same sense, that they feel like that they are more valuable to, they as an institution are more valuable globally than UEFA values them at. And so I think that these two clubs, Florentino Perez is the chairman of the ESL, and Agnelli, who is the chairman of Juve, is one of the vice chairmen. So these guys have clearly been working on this for a while. I think they've been enabled by the American ownerships in English football. So that would be the Glazers at United, Kroenke at Arsenal, and FSG at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think that they've really been enabled because American businessmen understand the American sports model, and that's all franchises. And they don't I heard commentary today. I don't remember where, but that some of the American ownership groups don't understand relegation and don't understand why they allow relegation. So they don't really necessarily understand the sporting merit aspect of earning things, or at least they think it's foolish.
Well, they don't see why they should invest in something.
Yeah.
When you're going to go down, it makes sense from a business perspective.
And
sport isn't always about the business perspective.
And I think the last point I want to make. I took some notes on my phone while I was at the gym this morning. I think the last thing I would say is that I'm sure that the ESL has had lawyers poring over these contracts, these plans for months and years, and that they have a very firm legal basis for what they're doing. And I don't understand or see how UEFA or FIFA will block players from representing their national teams. I don't see how that's going to be legal. And this, to me, has the court of arbitration in sport written all over it, that we're going to end up in months of legal battles between these groups. So those are the notes that I wanted to get out.
Yeah, I thought that was hollow threats of blocking players that play on these teams from playing in the World Cup. Like, I don't think that's possible. And even so, would you do it?
Yeah, it dilutes FIFA's
would you
brand.
Stop? Yeah. Would you stop Ronaldo from playing from Portugal? Really? You would do that?
No. Would you? I mean, like, can you imagine the Euros this summer without, like,
any of them?
Without
and you're going to put that product on the field? That's what I was thinking. Like, you're going to ban these people from the Champions League, like, effective immediately is what they were thinking. Well, they haven't done it yet. But so now you don't have a semifinal because all four of the 12?
PSG's not. PSG's not a member.
PSG's not. All right, so you've got 3 of the 4. So you don't have a game. So PSG's just Champions League winner? You're going to do that. You're going to cut your own nose off to spite your face? Okay.
I mean, so I've heard some interesting proposals for this. I was talking with somebody about this last night.
Guess how mad Fox is going to be.
Yeah.
Guess how mad your Sky, your TV partners are going to be.
Oh, yeah.
That they don't get 2 semifinal games and a final game.
Let's also not absolve the pundits and Sky and BBC from this too. They're just salty that they haven't been involved and named the exclusive broadcast partner of the ESL yet. So like the reason why they're so upset is because they're not part of the party yet. They're not on the boat yet. So like that's the reason why they're super salty too. It all comes down to money. But yeah, no, I was thinking last night. So like, so say you expel all of the founding members from the European competitions this year. Mm-hmm. Allegedly, there's going to be a vote on Friday to do that in UEFA. So the Europa League's a little bit cleaner because Roma and Villarreal will just advance to the final and they play each other. But then PSG would be the only surviving person in the Champions League. So are they just crowned the Champions League winners?
Maybe that's why they didn't accept the invite.
I've heard some interesting theories on why PSG hasn't accepted the invite yet either, but I don't want to dive into that. But one of the things I read this morning was that maybe you bring back Dortmund and Porto, and they play in a semifinal, and then whoever wins that plays against PSG for the final. What I suggested last night with one of the guys who listens to our podcast was that we have the Europa League play a final, essentially. So Villarreal and Roma play a final. And then on the day that the Champions League final would have been, just play a Super Cup then. So play the Europa League winner against PSG and call it the Super Cup. Give PSG the Champions League. Just give them the Champions League and then call it the Super Cup in the spring, because they do the Super Cup in the fall. So just instead of doing the Super Cup in the fall, just do it in the spring on the day the Champions League would be, and boom, you've still have some product to show.
But you're missing
build your TV obligations.
Well, no, you haven't. Not specifically.
Really, you've lost 3 games and replaced with 1.
Yeah, so you've lost a lot of games, but it's something, right?
I think right now we are in the hollow thread stage.
Yeah,
everybody. So like, this is like there'll be more clarity as this goes, and as we see who are the other 3 clubs, and then how do these 5 clubs get into it, and how does this money get distributed, right? Because if you have Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea with an extra $300 million a year, that's big money. If they're kicked out of the FA, then that money doesn't flow through the pyramid that it could with the ESL, with that type of influx of cash.
Well, that's one of the things that the ESL is banking on, is they're talking about solidarity payments, and that it will increase the amount of solidarity payments going down compared to what is currently happening.
Right.
They estimated like upwards of $10 billion in solidarity payments in some amount of time. I don't remember if it was like 5 years or 10 years or something like that, but that's an incredible amount of money. So it seems to me that there's an interest in the domestic leagues to keep these leagues, because like is the Premier League the same without the Big Six?
No.
Yeah.
That's what we're just saying.
Is La Liga the same without their big three? Is Italian Serie A the same without those three?
I had a work friend that was for this because he's a Newcastle United fan. He said, well, then we'll win the Champions League and we'll win the Premier League. And I was like, don't know if you will do that. But this also takes a lot. I was like, you're going to the amount of money that these 6 clubs bring in to everybody else is a huge amount.
The reason why the Premier League can draw such broadcasting revenue, and the reason is not because of Newcastle United.
It's not because Newcastle versus Burnley.
Yeah, it's because of Liverpool and United
and
Arsenal
and Chelsea. The 80-20 rule.
There's a reason why every week we have a game to talk about.
Yeah,
20% of your customers bring in 80% of the revenue.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the same, just about the same ratio here.
Yeah.
100%. But look at we always have a game to look forward to the next week.
It's probably a little expanded, but yeah, you're talking United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. That would be 20%. That's who's bringing in the revenue.
Yeah, of course.
And then you get your Europe revenue. So then you bring in City a little bit. So it gets diluted after that. But 20% of your customers bring in 80% of the revenue, and it's pretty consistent.
Yeah,
pretty consistent.
So
that's why I think we're in the empty threat stage. I don't think UEFA can kick them out of this year's tournament. I think they can bar them from next year's tournament and going forward. And FIFA might have some legal rights there to say these players can't play in our tournament and pick new ones.
I don't know.
I feel like they can play in no, they can't even, they wouldn't be able, they could play in friendlies, but that would be it. In FIFA sponsored tournaments, you have to be in a FIFA sponsored league, and they're saying Super League won't be sponsored by FIFA.
I think that
I think that's how they could do that.
I don't know. I'm not a sports lawyer. I don't know, but I think that when UEFA votes to expel the ESL teams this week from this year's competitions, that's going to be the first lawsuit, and I think it's going to be adjudicated very quickly, because it's going to need to be adjudicated very quickly, because these semifinals take place next week. So I think that CSA will probably have an injunction to stop that from happening right away before they can rule on it down the road. So I would imagine even if UEFA does bar these clubs or expel these clubs, I don't think that will stand long term. But yeah, you're definitely right, Brad, that this is the posturing phase where everyone is
and it goes and this goes to the timing of everything, because I think this probably would have been on our list anyways. Champions League is adding more elite teams to the 2024 competition and beyond.
Oh,
well, yeah,
that'll make more money.
Well, that happened on Friday, and so this happens to release Sunday, Monday.
Well, that's the reason. That's so UEFA was supposed to vote on this proposal last week, and it got delayed.
Right.
And then they had the meeting today where they were going to ratify it, and then the ESL announces 12 hours before that happens. It was intentional to control, because if the ESL clubs had to go and vote on that, and then they would have been complicit in it, and then they announced the ESL, it wouldn't have made sense. So that's why they announced it when they did. But it did feel weird that they announced it in the middle of the season.
Yes.
So yeah, this is clearly the posturing phase. We don't no one actually knows anything, but I think I guess it's a wait and see thing to see how it shakes out. Everyone's saying it's the death of football. I guess we'll see. I don't know. But we did have some actual football matches that took place. There was some actual football that was played this weekend. And some interesting things side effects of those football.
For the first time in a long time.
So
he wasn't the headline.
It does matter, kind of, because Everton and Spurs, they played a draw. And then this morning, Tottenham relieved their manager of his duties. Now, some reports have come out that said that Daniel Levy and Jose Mourinho had
two different reports on that. So we're starting to develop a trend that I would. Now, I did also read that Jose is contractually obligated to not talk about it. So we may never know exactly his thoughts or the disagreement. Although he is he's a pretty interesting character that he may say it without saying it. But yes, that is what I'm hearing. That it was a spat over the ESL that escalated, and this was the result.
Well, it's because it's interesting. There's interesting because
with poor results. Let's be honest. Like I'm not
over the weekend on Saturday. I'm pretty sure a very in the know Spurs reporter. I saw this on the subreddits. Like, I don't remember what his name was, but he's like a tier 1 Spurs source, was saying that that Mourinho is going to be sacked. And then
a win, lose, draw.
No, it was after. Yeah. It was after the result that Levy had it was time. He was just fed up, and so he was going to sack Mourinho. And so
he needs to sack himself.
So it was kind of what do you mean? He got you guys into the ESL. That's a major dub for him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 500 IQ.
But so like there was reports that he was going to be sacked anyway. But I was talking with someone and I was saying like Mourinho could spin this in a way that makes him come out as makes him look good in the public eye if he gets himself fired or resigns over the ESL. And maybe that's what he did. Maybe he genuinely dislikes the idea and that was just the natural outcome of it. But it happened. And now you guys have a caretaker manager, and apparently you're supposed to play a final this weekend in the League Cup. We'll see if that actually happens or what goes on there. I assume it's going to happen. And Jose Mourinho. I assumed you guys were going to get spanked. I still assume you guys are going to get spanked by City.
Actually, back to the game. Despite giving up a goal late, again, to drop point.
Again.
Harry Kane, again. I said again a couple times. Harry Kane's 2 goals were 2 volleys with either foot.
Yeah, his finishing was fantastic.
It was his right foot and then his left foot, or vice versa. It was his left foot, then his right foot.
Then he almost had a
finishing is. What's that?
His header. He almost had a third goal with the head, like not even looking. Oh yeah. Just boom. That was wow.
That would have been the what? Isn't there a term to it? Gentleman's
it's like a hat trick or something. It's like a complete hat trick.
Complete hat trick. Yeah. Something you get a header, left foot, right foot.
Yeah.
Lucic did that, or Giroud did that this year,
and then won.
Yeah, then won. So he's like extra.
Oh, so he's always got a 1-up. No,
penalty.
I just wanted to make sure I pointed out Kane, for as much grief as I give him and we give him on this pod, those are 2 clinical finishes. The right foot run was the second one. It was left foot first because the right foot, poor defending, fell to him. Immediate reaction off the volley, and then just banged it top net.
Yeah, his finishing was impeccable. His positioning was good. He wouldn't have scored either one of those goals if it wasn't for the Everton defenders, though.
I admitted that while describing his last goal.
But they were very well taken. And I don't want to take it away from him. Strikers have to be in position to score goals, and he would put himself into a dangerous position, and the ball fell to him, and he finished it. So they were really good finishes. And
I agreed with one of the guys I saw on my Twitter that said, since all of football has fallen to shit, I think we should just cancel the rest of the season and give the trophy to whoever has the Golden Boot winner.
Well, speaking, another comment about your golden boot winner was that he limped off the pitch at the end of the game, right? Didn't he?
He's always limping.
So is he okay?
Hey, when you're a pimp, you walk with a limp. That's all it is.
He did leave the game. He did leave the stadium without a boot on. So there's hope that the ankle injury isn't bad.
He should have had his alligator boots on. He should have had a boot on both feet.
All right, let's move on.
Now and later Gators, baby.
What happened, James? What happened here? The 18th place team?
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with you.
Yo, please pick it.
You saw the meme I sent to you guys. I woke up, did a solid for a friend, came back, and I was gonna go back to sleep because this stupid game at stupid 8:00 in the morning. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a nap. I'll lay on the couch. I'll hear this game in the background. Couldn't fall back to sleep. And got the pregame on. I'm like, you know what? Arsenal's playing a crap team. United's playing a crap team. Might do a little parlay action. Put a little greenbacks on Arsenal. And United did a little parlay action. Was trying to win some. And what do? You crap the bed against Fulham. United did their part, so I got no bone to pick with United. But actually, I texted to the group chat. The first half, I would rather run butt naked through thorns than watch that first half again. It was the worst first half of football I've ever seen. It was boring.
We put the ball in the back of the net twice in the first half.
The first half? We talking about the same football game?
Yeah.
0-0.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I understand that. They were both called off for offside, but like we put the ball in the back of the net twice. They had to be the Saka one was like a toe was offside. So like it's not it wasn't as dross as you are trying to make it out to be. What happened? Arsenal happened. This is Arsenal. We play beautiful
racism and they couldn't beat Fulham.
Yeah, we played beautiful, free-flowing, goal-scoring football at the midweek in the Europa League. We score 4 goals.
You know what they did?
And then we come to the league and we draw against relegation fodder. So this is just Arsenal.
Actually, I was just thinking, Kamara used to play for Fulham, didn't he?
I believe so.
I think they did a double solid to racism, and they defeated the foes that were mean to Kamara, and then came to the team that Kamara used to play for, and then let them win.
Let
them have some points.
I'll have to check that. I don't remember if he played.
There definitely was a Kamara that played for Fulham within the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the same one.
I'm just not sure. But yeah, it was just. I was really angry when I was watching it, so I saw Fulham. Well, so I was at church and I watched it on record many hours later, and so I did a very good job of avoiding reading our text messages between us. But I had to look at my phone a couple of times, so I was like swiping away your messages.
I almost texted that because I realized you were in church during the game.
Well, you should have, because I would have shut up.
No, it's cool. No, it's cool. So I don't mind. It's not your job to avoid spoilers in a group chat that is designed to talk about football.
Yeah.
But so I did a good job of not spoiling for myself. But I sit down to watch the game and I look at my wife and I say I'm going to be really upset. That was the PG version of what I said. If Arsenal lose, and she just didn't say a word. And I way overthink things. I someone does the slightest thing, and I way overthink it when it comes to Arsenal. And so I was like, okay, well, we're clearly not going to win. And so the Fulham goal goes in, and I am livid. And so I just stopped watching the game. I just put it on fast forward, and I was just fast forwarding through the last 30 minutes of the game because I was seething with rage.
Oh gosh, I would have loved to have been there. That would have been amazing.
You're a terrible friend, Brad.
I know.
And so I see the Arsenal score 1-1, and I just turn the TV off, and I'm just like angry. And I was probably meaner to my wife than I should have been. Sorry, Amanda. But yeah, I was just real bad. But that Arsenal
also not a goal, by the way.
It wasn't.
Scott Parker had a great point about it was offsides.
No, it wasn't.
Holding was offsides.
No, okay, but he was
holding was offsides.
But he wasn't.
Not the player that scored.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Holding was offsides.
But he
interfered with the goalie.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I wouldn't say interference with the goalie, but
he had the goalie off his line.
He did not.
It was offside.
Yeah, Rob Holding did not interfere with the play.
No, he did not at all.
Okay, then he's not.
But
offside.
He was offside.
Okay, fine. That doesn't matter. He's not an active player. He's not active in the play.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
That's why I'm saying he interfered with the goalie, Sean, and then you said no, he didn't. So you're ruining our attack here.
Yes, you have to be an active player or actively contributing to the play to be considered offside.
Which I feel like you can argue if he's making a run towards the goal, the goalie's going to be paying attention to him. So you can definitely make the argument that he was a crucial part to that goal.
Disagree. We roll. I didn't. What happened in this semi? I had to leave at halftime in the semifinal. So Brad, tell me about the semifinal.
These two cool boys, where Chelsea's winning the double, and you guys all laughed at me and
Bro,
said,
you're getting expelled.
City's gonna run through Chelsea.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong about that.
Yep. Not only it was at the end, City did put on their pressure like they did, but it was only maybe 10 minutes of that. The rest of the game, Chelsea controlled. It was a methodical game. It wasn't very exciting, but it was well controlled by Chelsea for most of it, and we definitely deserved to win. It wasn't like the Leeds game where it was 2 breakaways that won the game. We definitely deserved the goal that we made. Great pass from Money Mace to hit Werner, the assist king, right to Ziyech's foot and into the back of the net. Was a beautifully worked goal. Well deserved win. And we're winning.
Good pass and good finish. I saw that.
Yeah, the initial pass was awesome too.
You guys might win the FA Cup, but you're not winning the Champions League.
We're winning both.
You're so incredibly wrong about that.
Bring me the murderers of the Hamburger Boy.
What? Oh, this is a Real Madrid. Oh, you're calling
Real Madrid.
Eden Hazard is the Hamburger Boy because he's fat.
Yeah. No, he loves hamburgers. His favorite food is hamburgers.
You're getting expelled.
Okay.
Well, even if you don't get expelled, you're still not winning the Champions League.
Yes, we are.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are. We're winning the double, baby.
You guys are the worst team in the Champions League left.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. Move on.
So, 2012, I'm guessing everybody said the same thing. And what happened at Bayern against Bayern?
Anyway.
Please doubt us.
You guys don't have... Anyway. What else is going on? Sheffield got relegated. We talked about that.
You actually were playing Bayern at Allianz?
Yeah. And when we won.
At Bayern against Bayern?
Yes, in the Champions League final.
Yeah, but that's different.
We beat them in penalties.
But it's different because the Allianz is not the Allianz as it normally would be when UEFA gives out 75% of the tickets to dignitaries and whatever, and the clubs only get like a minuscule allotment for the final. You guys just aren't winning. It's just not happening. We're moving on. We're moving on, Brad.
Sheffield's beat Sheffield? Is that what we're saying?
No, yeah, I mean, I think you guys win the FA Cup probably, but you never know. Sheffield.
I said Sheffield beat Sheffield.
Oh, you talking? We're moving on. Okay, yeah.
Yes,
Sheffield's relegated.
No, that's over.
They're done. They've been relegated. We talked about it earlier. There's nothing to talk about, right? They're just they didn't have a manager who knew what he was doing for the entire season, and now they just have a caretaker who couldn't do anything. Do we talk about the Champions League and the Europa League? Oh, we lost Brad. Bye, Brad. This is the second time he's done this, where he tries to unmute himself and he leaves the call.
I guess we don't talk about anything.
You need to physically, keybind a mute and unmute button on your keyboard instead of pushing the button with your mouse, because that's 2 weeks in a row you've left the call.
I should.
That's just humorous.
That seems computers boggle my mind. So let's continue.
Arsenal, if the ESL wasn't announced, the things I would be saying about the Europa League is that Arsenal slapped Prague, and now we get to have a rematch with Unai Emery in the semifinal, which is... I have such mixed feelings about this because Unai Emery is the Europa League king, but I really feel like we should beat Villarreal. So that will be an interesting tie if it does take place.
Good evening.
Don't make fun of the man for trying to speak a foreign language.
Oh, he can speak much better than I can, so that's perfectly fine.
Like the dude,
and half the time better than you can too when you're hosting.
The dude didn't need to speak in English, but he chose to, and people just memed him mercilessly. And we want to talk about like kick racism out. Like I think that's a good cause, but we should probably also like not like bully people either. Anyway, Chelsea play Brighton tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Let's hope for a not West Brom finish.
Okay. Spurs play Southampton on Wednesday. Sean, any interest there? You gonna go to the pub? You gonna go to the pub and watch it? Should we even?
Does it matter? Does it matter?
Does it matter? Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. These games are gonna be interesting because like, where are the players' heads at? Where's the coach's heads at?
Yeah, I'm just trying.
Papa's already like, this is stupid.
I'm trying to watch football.
He's very much on the line. Like,
no, I think Bamford had some thoughts today that we could read or not read. But like one of the things he said, they asked him about, is it you played Liverpool today? They announced the ESL. Was there any distractions? And he was like, the players talk in the locker room, but once you hit the pitch, none of that matters. And I thought that was right. Like, of course the guys think about it, but once you're on the field, you're not thinking about that stuff. You got too many other things to think about, and half the time, you're not thinking, you're reacting anyway.
You want to know want to know who I'm not going to be thinking about on Friday when I watch Arsenal versus Everton? Stan Kroenke. That's who I'm not going to be thinking about. I'm going to be thinking about Arsenal Football Club and watching my football club play against Everton and needing 3 points from that. But yeah. That's all we have for tonight. There are lots of games this weekend, and lots of games.
I assume there's about 10.
Well, between now, because it's Monday today, and so we have games literally every day until Monday. There's at least one game every day until Monday.
This would be such a great week if we were actually talking about the week, because the ESL's got to mess up everything.
Yeah. So, but that's all we really have. This was intended to be a shorter episode. All of our episodes, we keep talking beforehand, we'll just do a short episode on this, or we'll just do a short episode on that. And then they're all an hour long. So this was kind of our look at the Premier League after match
whatever's going on.
32. Yeah. This is the Premier League after match week 32. It's also after the announcement of the ESL. This has been at Red Card. This is Red Card Radio. Our Twitter is at redcard_radio. Next to me on the top row, that's at KSBradG. Down below me is at whiteheart_Sean. He's a Braves Twitter handle now. And I'm at James Tiffany. So tweet us. Also rate our podcast, comment, subscribe, all the things you need to do. Share it with a friend. We're still looking for feedback. I always ask for feedback, and we've not gotten any feedback yet. So
share it with a friend.
Something right. Yeah.
If you're not giving feedback with us, share it with a friend and get their feedback and tweet that at us.
But that's all we have for you guys. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will presumably see you guys next week unless all of our clubs have been disbanded. Good night.